I have, excuse me, 10 o'clock. So we will call the Harrison County Commission meeting for Wednesday, November 17th. To order, if you would rise for invocation.
Heavenly Father, we know that you are in control of our strengths, our weaknesses. I just pray that we enter this Thanksgiving and Christmas season with an open mind, looking forward to peace, kindness, and forgiveness. I pray for all the individuals in this room today, that this meeting may go smoothly and that we may all return to our workplaces and our homes and our families this evening safely. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have a 10 o'clock public nuisance, Virginia Rockwell, 3980 Lucas Road, Enterprise.
Sorry.
Virginia Rockwell. Virginia Rockwell. Virginia Rockwell.
No, Virginia Rockwell.
No one in the hall.
Please let the record reflect that no Virginia Rockwell.
Virginia Rockwell, she bought this property on a tax sale. So she's not knowing what she had bought. The house is falling in, it's ready, it needs to be tore down. We've asked her several times to do that. And she just ignores us. And let me see, when did we start on her? Oh, it's been about a year that we started asking her to take it down. Now that right there is actually a good picture of it. That's from last year. The ones that we had taken last week show that it is just falling apart. There you go.
So she's done nothing. since
Nothing.
she was done.
Absolutely nothing.
And she was served notice,
She was indeed.
personal service. This is the service. No, this is one.
Yeah, she was served of this meeting. She received it October the 19th.
You have that here.
It should be.
Here's where she signed. and certified. There it is. Okay.
Okay,
So she was served in person and by certified mail.
yes,
Of the
she
hearing
was.
Today. She did not appear. That's all the questions I have. Anybody else have anything?
Madam President, I make a motion that we give her 30 days to get herself together and then we'll move forward.
Michael went to court.
Unless you want to give her 60 days.
I mean, it doesn't pertain to this, but I might also want to say that that is right in the middle of the floodplain.
Please suggest our
Hmm?
60 days.
60?
What do you suggest?
Say 30.
30? Proceed with recommendation.
Motion's been made to move with the recommendation from staff for 30 days. Give it 30 days, and if nothing happens after 30 days, then to proceed to circuit court, correct? Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Picos?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, didn't mean that one. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, we have a 10 o'clock public hearing regarding the proposed new rates, fees, and charges for service to customers of the public waterworks system of Greater Harrison County Public Service District. We'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here or signed up to speak to this matter?
No.
No one is appearing before us to speak for or against. And I believe we were given a packet. I just want to make sure that everything that we got what we need.
We're gonna hold off on our questions till it's an agenda item.
Oh, yeah, I guess we can go through all this before. Yeah, I guess that's probably the good thing to do. What do you think?
Yeah, open the public hearing. Let me go check the hallway as well, then we'll come back in. If there are no comments, we'll close the hearing. And we can all.
Anybody here for the public hearing, of water rate raise?
Thank you.
No one.
Is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak to the Greater Harrison rate increase, I guess I should say? Anyone on Zoom wishing to speak to Greater Harrison about the fee increase? Hearing none, we will move on and come to the action item. And we will close the public hearing. Okay, is there no one signed up to speak? Is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak publicly? Anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak publicly? Okay, hearing none, we will move on to the consent agenda. What's the pleasure?
Motion approved, please.
Motion to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 3, payroll changes A through E. What's the pleasure?
Motion approved A through E on payroll change notices.
Motion to approve A through E for number 3, payroll change notices. Any discussion? I just want to thank Linda Cross for her years of service to the planning department.
We miss her.
I'm sure. I just wanted to say that. Okay. There's no discussion. What's the pleasure? Oh, yeah. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 4, minutes and or amended minutes of previous meeting. We have from November 10th, regular meeting minutes of draft.
Motion approved, adopt into record, please.
Motion to approve and adopt into record. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. When we approved the cameras, we didn't say how much we approved. It says cameras, no dollar amount.
Is that what you?
That's right.
Okay.
Yes, please, because that was specifically asked, and since we had 2 quotes from them, which one that we were going
Yeah,
with. So that was a good catch. Thank you.
So we'll bring those back. Okay, number 5, requisition purchase orders invoices as shown on A, vendor requisition list of payments. What's the pleasure?
Motion approved.
Motion to approve requisitions, purchase orders, invoices. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. It appears that there are no exoneration of corrective tickets, joint property applications, correct?
Correct, 0.
Okay, so no number 6. Okay, number 7, consideration of approval of a project fund requisition payment of cost associated with the 2019 bonds issued for the Charles Point District and Series 2015 A and B, the White Oak projects, Series 2008, excuse me, for Charles Point Project number 2, North Land Bay. A and B, what's the pleasure?
Motion approved A, $2,247.50. Motion approved B, $1,330.83, please.
Okay, the motion has been made to approve number 7, A and B as stated, and the amounts as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, it looks like we don't have any for number 8, which is for the general services building, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Review, discuss, consider monthly minutes, financial information from various boards, committees, and public service districts, A through C.
Motion approved A, B, and C, please.
Motion to approve A, B, and C. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Number 10, review, discuss, consider zoning form 4, A 711-4399 Buchanan Pike, Mount Clair, B 711-1514 West Pike Street, Chinston, 711-604 Wilsonburg Road, Clarksburg.
Motion approved A, B, and C, and anticipate a later date in Salem. Just so you know, Mr. President.
The Salem, it will go in front of their city council since it lies within Salem's jurisdiction. So only these 3 will come in before us.
And this Chinston one is outside the city limits.
Yes, it is.
Motion's been made to approve number 10, A through C. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
No.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Who's left in opposition? Number 11, review, discuss, consider resolution authorizing the application of the Harrison County Rail Trail Grant.
This is actually, Charlotte might be able to give better detail, but this is a grant that we previously received from the Department of Transportation to work on different sections of the rail trail to fix them. And in this one section, ran out of funding. Our portion is 20%. It'll take another 10,000 to fix and finish up what they wanted to complete to begin with. So our portion would be
Is that the one on the
$2,000.
southern?
No, this is for the north.
Oh, okay.
And it's, what they did was there was money left over from the south. So they took that money and brought it to the north to help the north, to finish out the north. But then our 20% is 2,000. And they needed another resolution for that 2,000.
Motion approved resolution for 20% match and $10,000 grant.
Motion to approve resolution for a $10,000 grant with a $2,000 match. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Review, discuss, consider letter of support of the application to West Virginia DEP for funding of a countywide planning assessment grant. Do we know what they're going to be working on?
Is Miss Amy on? the
Amy, are
Zoom?
you on the call? Amy Wilson. I'm just curious. Not that I don't support trying to get grants, but I'm just curious what they're going to be doing. Do you know, Mr. Hinton?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you mind?
This one's for brownfield,
But where are the brownfields?
Clarksburg,
Where at?
Kinston. I can't tell you exact location. The fuel farm at Newman and Ford. Some apply to get the money to
I'm just curious whether there were brownfields left.
Oh, we have lots of rounds. And spelt. We have those, at least 5 brownfield sites. that keep on board.
What's the pleasure?
Motion to move forward in the third.
Motion to move forward and approve number 12. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, number 13, review, discuss, consider approving, denying, or modifying the proposed new rates, fees, and charges for service to customers of the public waterworks system of Greater Harrison County Public Service District. I just want to make sure that you guys have, when we get it on record, have, for lack of a better term, jumped through the proper hoops to get this far. You've sent out the notice of intent to raise the rates by mail with the monthly billing, correct? And that we have that information. And you're shaking your head, Bill. Can you-
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Would you identify yourself for the record as well?
Bill Hoover, General Manager of Greater Harrison PSD. Brought with me today Tom Michael, Board Member. Zach Dobbs, our accountant. Todd Swanson, the attorney who handled all the publications. Directed me what to do. Mark Leonard, Secretary of the Board.
You had a legal ad publication, resolution prior to the public hearing,
That
correct?
is correct.
And we have that.
Should be in there.
Can you explain the two-step increase? Why, I mean, is it, the way it looks like to me, you're gonna do one increase and then 6 months later, another?
Correct.
That's correct.
Okay.
What we're gonna do, what we'd like to do is step one would be a 4.4% increase. And then step two would add another 4.4% increase. What we're asking for is a total of 8.8%. And what we tried to do was implement it in 2 steps there just to spread it out a little bit for the customers.
I believe that's all I have.
Will this the rate increase affect your whole customer base or just part of your customer base?
It'll affect all of the customer base except for the resale customer, which is just West Milford.
Now, the step one affects a certain district, parts of the district, right? And then step two brings.
No,
in-
no, no. Step one will affect the whole district and step two will affect the whole district. Our tariff is just broke down into 2
Okay,
schedules.
okay.
Schedule
I knew I
one,
read
two.
something,
Yep.
something. Thank you, sorry.
No, I'm trying to figure out, I'm reading here on. But it's Quiet Dell, Craigmore, Springline Mills, Kings Run. So is there any other districts that are part of this, is where you're scheduled?
No, all we're looking at there, when you look at the schedule one like that, schedule one will include everyone that's not included in those schedule two rates,
So the people in Lost Creek will see a 14% increase.
or the 8.8%.
Everybody gets the same.
That's correct. It's across the board.
And did you have a public hearing in Lost Creek?
We had the public hearing in West Milford.
West Milford, one of your customers,
They're a resale customer.
but it's not your customer base. Do you have any hearings in the districts where you actually service?
I mean, we have all of our board meetings at the West Milford Community Center.
That still didn't answer my question.
No, that was the only hearing we had, sir.
So the people at Quiet Dell didn't have a hearing at the church or somewhere easy for them to get to, or the people down in other parts of the county made everybody travel to West Milford?
I mean, we haven't had, but maybe 8 or 10 people, Bill.
Six people. And I noticed you say that you need to raise your rates because Nutter Fork's raising 14%.
Nutter Fork, yes, correct. They are raising their resale rate. That will go from $4.80 per thousand to $5.47 per thousand.
And you're gonna spread that increase throughout the customer base.
Correct.
When was the last time you did an increase?
I think it's been a couple of years now.
And the reason for this increase?
The reason for this increase is to cover a $25,000 truck replacement fund to cover the increase in O&M associated with the Nutter Fork rate increase. We'd recently, middle of the year, we had hired an additional person to work in the office. That additional payroll was built in there. And at the current June 30, 20 numbers that were available, we were operating at a deficit of approximately $78,000.
Well, I'm curious, the vehicles that you don't want to use, separate their use, or they use for both water and sewer?
They have water and sewer trucks. We try to keep those separated at all times. Of course, you're going to get into emergency situations where sometimes the sewer truck may need to be used for water and vice versa, but we try to keep those separated.
And your employees are the same way? Somebody that works for the sewer never works for the water, vice versa?
No, some of them are all sewage and some of them are all water. But the other thing that they do also is they track their time on what they work on, and that's entered into a work order system. And then each month, any of the labor that's not directly allocated is presented to me from that work order system on what portion is water.
I look at your combined statement for so far this year between water and sewage. You guys are doing pretty good.
The sewer side is right now. And a big reason for that was one of the bond payments for the sewer, they did not get set up in time. We had allocated to make those. So that was approximately $40,000 that got started a month late that normally would have been in there. But as far as when you look at the water side for year to date, July through October, it was only $10,000 surplus. And that doesn't take into account for any of the Senate Bill 234 or the truck replacement fund.
I'm having problems just trying to figure out, you're asking for a raise on water for everybody because of Nutter Fork putting an increase on your flat Dell people.
That's a portion of it.
That's a portion of it.
That's correct.
But
And if
you're gonna take
Clarksburg,
your whole increase and put it on everybody.
right, and if Clarksburg raises their rates, we've done the same thing in the past.
So, yeah. And then the other problem I have is trying to figure out your labor. When I look at the labor between the two, I'm trying to figure out who's doing what.
Yeah, I mean,
And who's
unfortunately,
I mean, you tell me greater, that sewage people can't back up with pickup trucks?
what was that again?
The sewage side of this mess can't back up with pickup trucks? Why do we need 25,000 pickups over in water when you guys got 150,000 sitting there in sewage, then you guys share the trucks?
Right, because we're not supposed to try to commingle everything. We try to keep those things separated as much as we can. And we don't want the sewer side subsidizing the water fund, and the water fund already owes the sewer side a substantial amount of money.
Is that noted on these financial statements?
No, not in, these are just cash receipts and cash disbursements in and
How
out.
much does the water owe the sewage?
It's over $300,000.
So the water has a $300,000 debt. The sewage,
Correct.
you guys got that to us?
the Coons Run does.
You all done it, control Coons Run yet?
Not yet. That's not been turned over completely yet.
I was told that it had.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, we're waiting on USDA approval. Because
You are
that-
collecting the money, but
yes, they are operating under the agreement that they previously had approved by the commission.
is there a statement for water for Coons Run? Or is it mingled in with your old water statement?
No, it's not part of the statement that you all are getting there.
And their rates are gonna increase as well, correct?
Once they combine with Greater Harrison, they'll come in at the higher Greater Harrison rates.
So how much money they have in their account right now?
That part I do not know. We just spent a good bit of what they did have on meters. How many meters did we buy, Bill?
I think we're 165 the first round, and I just bought 25 more.
Okay,
And it completes the meter change. We have 16 left to change that.
okay. Because I think we just spent 40 or 50,000 on meters. So we're working on trying to spend any excess money they had.
Okay, you know, we're paying the Mongan out for the water, and we're not doing that anymore, correct?
What's that?
Paying for the water. I know for a while, the commission paid for the water.
Yeah, no, you all haven't paid any bills for a good while.
So today you're asking for 7% and 7% in 6 months.
No, 4.4 and 4.4.
I'm still confused with the money. I think there's a lot of questions that I don't know how you're sorting your labor out, how you're sorting your trucks out, how you're sorting the Coons Run out. Because I think they're listed as part of your increase, and you're telling me that you don't control them yet. Or you don't have control.
We don't have complete control of them yet. No, we do not.
So they're not on this increase.
Right, but they will be included once they come over, but we'll also be taking into account, we'll also be taking on their debt also and any other expenses that they have.
But we don't know what that is.
I don't have that with me, no.
As far as I'm concerned, the Coons runs out of this deal. I was told, and I thought I understood that you guys had total control of Coons Run, so I've been misinformed.
I mean, they're operating Coons Run right now. Coons Run has no other employees or no board. But they're still their own entity.
So it sounds like they're in limbo.
Right, we're waiting on the USDA. We can't make them go any quicker than they are moving.
No, other than I'm having a real hard time making the other water people pay for this 14% coming out of Motherport.
I just have trouble altogether, or raising taxes, I mean, rates.
I mean, the commission wants, this commissioner is willing to grant 4 or 5%, but that would be.
Sorry, guys, I just. be honest.
So David, do you want me to make a motion that we approve a 4% increase?
I'll make it, if you want to, or I will, it doesn't matter.
And then instead of a 4.5, right?
Let's just, you can do 4.5 if you want to do a bump.
One step,
One step.
not two steps.
Okay.
What he said. Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you want to clarify the Coons Run?
Yeah, Coons Run can't be part of this until Coons Run gets sorted out. So the motion is 4.5% increase. Exclude Coons Run, and it's a one-time bump. And you guys like the back. Another bite of the apple with more information than explain to us how all this is separated and how it's all operated. I'm fine taking another look at it.
Madam President, can I ask one question? If we included our resale customers, could we not drop this even further for everybody?
The resale, I think the resale is only about 60,000 a year. It's not very much.
Which for $60,000 resale?
No, Bridgeport's bill is very, very minimal. It's West Milford, it's the resale customer that's the larger one.
Okay.
That's the one pass I think we should have asked them to become part of it.
Okay, I'll call the question.
And the motion is for a 4.5 increase,
Coons Run,
one, no, not a two step, it's a one step, and Coons Run is not to be included.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? No. Okay, motion carried.
Can I ask a clarification
Yes.
question? What would the effective date be? And I'd like for you all to know what the PSD is going to do prior to the effective date in terms of follow-up notice with utility consumers, so people can adjust their budgets.
What do you got?
My statute is 45 days as rates would go into effect because the district's under financial stress and they're not, they're operating a loss. They'd asked for waiver of that 45 days, if that's the pleasure of the commission. As far as additional notice, there's no additional notice required to the customers by statute, but if there's something additional the commission would like the district to do, that's.
So let's go ahead and start the rate then effective January 5th. That's 45 days. That follows statute, sir?
Yes, yeah, that would be correct.
You guys comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, do you want us to include that in the motion, Trey? Mr. Trey?
And just to be clear, yeah,
Okay, to amend the motion to include that this rate increase of 4.5% will take effect January 5th, 2022. Madam President.
The motion has been amended to include that the rate increase will take effect January 5th, 2022. Any further discussion?
One more question. Do we want to go ahead so we don't have to revisit this, that as soon as the USDA has approved Coons Run, that it then takes effect 45 days after the approval? So we don't have to go through this again.
The only thing, Patsy, is I'd like to really know what the financial state of Coons Run is before we do anything.
And I'll stay where I was at, 2022 days.
Any discussion on that? Amendment? Okay with the amendment? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. The amendment. Anything further that we're missing?
Thank you, gentlemen.
A review, discuss, consider revised courthouse holiday schedule. Sorry.
That's okay.
Motion to add one more date, Juneteenth, to what we approved last week, Madam President, please.
Okay. Motion's been made to add Juneteenth, which has been included or added to last week's approval of the holiday schedule. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Number 15, review, discuss, consider administrative cost schedule for FOIA request. Laura.
This is something that has been brought to my attention. We don't really have a FOIA policy here at the county. If so, I haven't been able to find it. And we've gone through indexing and everything else to find. This is something that I would like us all to take a look at and give some input. I've already gotten some feedback from some of the elected officials, but I think we need to have an across the board. Here's the policy and procedure for FOIA requests. And so we know that all the steps are being taken, that they're being submitted to the Secretary of State's office, and that the fees are being collected and everything else. So I would like to bring it back on the next agenda after I get everyone's feedback, but I need to bring it to your attention to look at.
Kind of confusing. I agree, we need to have some kind of policy for this. So we'll bring this back next week. No action required today, correct?
Correct,
My only question is, this is for the commission,
correct,
not any other elected official.
correct. And then it's going to specify not elected officials.
Have we been having any issues with FOIA requests?
I don't believe so, but we're getting more and more FOIA requests, especially out at 911. Out there, we're getting easily 3 to 4 a week, if not more. And it's just to make sure that we have that flat fee schedule in place.
Have you gone over this, Kurt?
I have, yes. And it does align with West Virginia law. There was a recent legislative development which kind of changed and is the genesis for this policy, and that was associated with people charging for manpower. They were charging hourly rates for people to retrieve documents. This policy does not do that. It charges fees for expenses, paper, CDs, thumb drives, those types of expenses that the commission can be reimbursed for under West Virginia law. And it's really just designed, Commissioner Hinkle, to give us a procedure and follow up on specifically closure with the Secretary of State's office. That's the primary thing I see people not do, is now we have to go into the electronic system, submit the request, and then submit the closure as well.
But FOIA requests don't have to be in writing, as I understand it.
I'll certainly want them in writing. If somebody comes in here and makes a verbal FOIA request to the commission, you can certainly consider that. There are sometimes accommodations associated with the request if somebody.
But we do have to make those documents available. None of that.
If they want to come here and inspect, that's the preferred course, and that's the historic way FOIA has been handled, yes. Put them in a room with the documents, create a batch set so we know what's going through, what the order is, but give them the documents, yes, sir.
And how did we arrive at 75 cents?
That was the recommended. That's also what Whitehall is doing.
It's what a number of institutions do. The FOIA policy is modeled off the Board of Governors Freedom of Information Act policy and procedures. And that's what the university charges per page. It's what a number of municipalities charge per page throughout the county. If you feel that's unreasonable, certainly make the comment.
We charge the same if it's scanned and put on a disk or a thumb drive, 75 cents a page.
That policy does not address charging people per page for scans. I believe it addresses reasonable cost associated with the thumb drive or the CD.
That's the only thing that is involved in expense.
Correct, correct. Other than time, and we cannot
We can't do
charge,
that
we can't
anymore. We
charge.
used to be able to do that.
Well, people did it.
I mean,
Thank you, Laura.
Yeah.
Sure. Number 16, administrators report.
The house that was burnt down on Meadowbrook Road has actually been torn down this week, so it's nice to see that that is finally gone. I went over and visited the GSA building yesterday, get an update on the progress. It looks pretty good. I could see some differences from last week, not really being over there, and then we had Veterans Day and the weekend and everything. And it was nice to see windows being framed and everything else, and this one taking place over there at the GSA. I have a meeting with Amy Wilson and the team for a planning meeting, which is a requirement for the EDA grant. That'll take place tomorrow. And a reminder that Winterfest in Clarksburg is coming up on December 3rd and 4th. And that is pretty much all I have.
Anybody have any questions?
Oh, they given any idea when they'll have the front closed in?
In the next week or two, he said.
Commissioner comments, number 17. Mr. Henkel,
My name.
I have nothing. Mr. Treehawk,
Nothing. Motion adjourned.
motion to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?